Hi everyone, I'm just here hanging out at Starbucks at SM in Davao, and while I was here I decided to kind of go over what my impressions are of Davao and what I think about it, what are some of the positives and what are some of the negatives. So let's first kind of go into the positives. Um, So yeah, like I said, I'm over here at Starbucks. This Starbucks, by the way, is a fantastic place to people watch. I'm just grabbing a coffee and some breakfast really quick, but great location to people watch. So my first impressions and my overall impressions on Davao, for me, it's just the best place in the Philippines. Now, granted, there's a lot of places I haven't been, so I'm not an expert. I have been to Makati and Manila and Angeles and Tagaytay and Dumaguete and Cebu and Davao, Cagayan de Oro. So I have been around for quite a bit, going on 3 years, a small stint over in Vietnam. And so my first impressions, overall impressions of Davao, well, number one, like I said, we'll talk about the positives first. Number one, clean, very clean. You'll find trash bins about every 30 meters out on the street. So you'll be walking on the street and there's a place to throw your trash. Amazing. It's almost like being back in the West again. You know, you can go to some of the parks here, like People's Park, and there's trash bins all over, and the places are clean, and they take pride in their city here. And another thing is nature. There's nature close by. Cebu has fantastic nature too. It's got great waterfalls. I think it has something like 81 waterfalls. But the problem is if you're living in Cebu City, you've got to travel several hours through traffic on the bus or on motorbike or whatever way you're going to get there, through all these cities to get to the waterfall. Now in Davao, you do have to travel through the city a little bit, depending where you're living, and but you can get to the mountains relatively fast, and you can get to a spot in about 15 minutes to go whitewater rafting. You can get to the ocean in about 15 minutes and then take a 10-minute ferry ride to Samo Island, and there you can visit a giant clam reserve and go snorkeling or scuba diving. You've got great resorts, great beaches, Guinness Book of World Records, bat caves, and yeah, it's just fantastic, and it's like 10 pesos to ride across. So, nature, it's fantastic. Cleanliness, fantastic. You got great malls here. You've got 4 big ones. You got 2 SM malls, one Ayala, which is a Brisa, and then they call it G Mall, Gaisano Mall, which also the nickname People's Mall. It's where most Filipinos will go and shop because it's much cheaper than the Ayala and the SM. And fantastic place. And then a bunch of small little malls sprinkled all over. So because there is a lot of malls here, there's also a lot of Western amenities that you can get, just like Cebu and Manila and other places. If you want Western food and you want some Western amenities, you can get it here. That's not a problem. The other thing is, I also find the people to be extremely friendly here. Really friendly and much more genuine. In Cebu, they just, they've been around foreigners so much that I think some of that friendliness is just worn off. We're not a novelty to them. I mean, I think somebody had said almost 3 million people, foreigners, visited Cebu in 2018. And, a lot of that's because they come there to learn English, or a lot of people go to live because it's cheaper, and Cebu is nice, so a lot of people do make that their first consideration. A lot of people do not think about Mindanao because of some of the terrorist activity, and with good reason. There has been bombings, and there was a small little war that went on for a little bit in Marari, and so for that reason a lot of people just don't think about Mindanao, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. For me, Davao is safe enough and it's far away enough from that stuff that I'm not real worried about it. Okay, now, yeah, there was a night bombing at the night market several years back, I believe in 2016, and it killed about 14 or 17 people, I'm not sure. But, if you're coming from the United States, there's mass shootings at concerts and mass shootings at the movie theater, and, are you any safer in the United States? Probably not. Japan just had a recent thing where some guy stabbed 14 people. It happens in Germany. It happens all over. And so I don't find it any less safe than any other place or any other Western country. Okay, so the other thing, because of the friendliness of the people, dating is fantastic. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, a lot of people will say, oh, my girlfriend's from Leyte, and I think she's the most beautiful girl, or they have the most beautiful girls in Samar. So there's an argument for that. Everybody has their own opinion. But for me, in Mindanao, they kind of have a look that I like. For me, they're more petite. I find them morena, darker colored, which I like, and I like petite girls. And friendliness, but a lot of people could say that all around the Philippines. They're just beautiful women, and they're fun. And within that, every guy's going to have a horror story. But in my opinion, most of these horror stories come from meeting these women online. And online is where a lot of the problems come, because online is where you do find scammers, and you do find, on the opposite end, you find the guys that are the sexpats, So it works both ways. Honestly, if you want to meet a good girl, just go to the local mall and find a girl who's working at one of the stores and ask her out, or ask for her Facebook. It's not that difficult. And that's probably the best way. You're going to get a girl who's working. She's probably, she's too busy to be online dating. But I don't want to make this into a dating video. But my point is I just feel like they're really pretty here, friendly, very sweet. And okay, so those are the positives. A couple of the negatives, I guess. The city is a bit spread out, so it's going to be a little expensive if you're going all over the place. You probably want to have your own mode of transportation at some point if you're going to live here. You probably want to get a motorbike, otherwise, or you want to be walking distance to one of the local malls in one of the condos here, which is very doable. I guess another negative is, unlike Cebu and Luzon and Samar and Leyte and Negros, you can't just go all over the island anywhere you want, because Mindanao does have its danger areas that you should stay out of with good reason. And so because of that, you are limited, and you have to pay attention to where you're traveling to, and you do have to be aware of that at all times. So if somebody says, hey, we're going to go to these, your girlfriend says, hey, I want to go to this waterfall over here, and you look and see, oh, I can't go there, that's in a red zone, that's in a danger zone, well, you probably shouldn't go there, to be honest. Chances are you're probably safe, but who wants to risk that? So there are some negatives. There's negatives with everything, though, I guess. And for me, Mindanao is big enough that it shouldn't really be a problem. So those are just my opinions on it. That's my overall view of Mindanao and Davao in particular. And so if you guys have any questions or comments about Davao or anything else, comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.